Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're making chicken and prawn curry. This is a very simple recipe and I hope you enjoy it. And do not forget to like, comment and subscribe. Just to get into our ingredients, I chopped up a medium-sized tomato and then a chopped medium-sized onion. Used a yellow pepper that's been chopped as well. You can use green or red pepper instead. I am also going to use the shells of these prawns. These are the very small what I call shrimp, but you don't have to limit yourself to the size. You can use the bigger ones as well. They'll work perfectly for this recipe. This is fresh coriander that's been torn off of the stems. This is some chopped garlic and chicken breasts. You can use chicken thighs here as well. I do prefer, however, to do this recipe without the bones. I am using this curry paste today. It's called the Rogan Josh. This is an Indian curry paste and it's medium chili. I will use extra chili flakes. However, if you are sensitive to heat, do just use this paste and don't use more chilies. Of course, we're going to use some salt to make sure that our food is nicely seasoned. I am using sunflower oil today for my meal. And that's it, guys. Let's get cooking. So I've got this pan on a high heat and I'm just going to use our sunflower oil. I'm using about a tablespoon and a half here. And this is so that I can sear my chicken. So I want to quickly just show you the next step, which is seasoning the chicken before it goes into the heated pan. So I'm going to season this with just salt. I feel honestly that paste packs a lot of punch, and I don't even need pepper. You can use pepper if you prefer. However, salt should just be fine. So I am seasoning the top side of the chicken. This is the side that will go in first and have contact with the pan. Once it's in the pan, you can then season the other side over top. So I cooked this on high heat for 3 minutes. This is not to cook through the chicken. It is merely to sear it on the outside. This is one of the ways of developing flavors early on for dishes like these. So meat mostly I will sear off if I am gonna cook, if I'm either gonna cook it in a stew or a curry. So this is what I'm doing now. I am seasoning the top side as mentioned earlier as well. So this is where the prawn shells come in. So all shellfish, the most of the flavor of the actual dish is actually in the shells and head. So if you have heads for your prawns that you're using, do put them in here as well as the shells, because that's how you're going to extract the maximum amount of the prawn flavor without using too many prawns. This is literally the best thing ever, because the minute these hit the pan, the aroma is already there, so there's no missing that there is shellfish in the dish, and for me that's super important. So yeah, I want that nice staunch flavor of the shells. So as mentioned, this goes for about 3 minutes and then we turn it over to the other side. So the point of this also is not to cook through the chicken all the way through, because we are going to remove it off the heat and do the other steps. So we don't want the chicken to be overcooked at the end of the dish, because when we reintroduce it into the sauce, it will get cooked, so we want to undercook the chicken at first so that later on it cooks through and is still moist and not overcooked. Okay, so that is what we're doing now. Just turning it over. Look, this is not the best color I'm getting on these, but I also, as mentioned, I don't want my chicken to be overcooked, so I'd rather get less caramelization on the chicken but make sure that it's not overcooked at the end. So that is the priority at the moment. So about another 2 minutes or so, 2 to 3 minutes on the other side, and then it's ready. I will add more oil, just so that, because obviously I've run out of it here, but also so that the oil can be infused with this flavor as well. So I am just going to add some more sunflower oil to this, and then just have these toast for a little longer in this pan. So now I'm going to remove my shells. I do not want to go on with them, and the reason for it is going to be hard to try and retrieve them from my pot there after the step. So I'd rather do it now, get it over with. I obviously throw those away. Here comes my onion. So I'm going to saute this onion, and obviously I showed you earlier already chopped, and I'm just going to saute it for a couple of minutes. And go on to the next steps, where I will add the rest of the ingredients, being the peppers and tomatoes and so on. So I'm back with my cooked chicken. I'm just gonna cut it into strips and set it aside for later because it's cooled down slightly now. Always try and cut your meat and chicken against the grain. So just try to see where the grain is so that I can decide which direction I should be cutting in. This actually helps make your slices more precise, because otherwise it just flakes off. And like in this instance, I don't think I chose the perfect direction. But it's still better than having cut it exactly along the grain. As you can see, my chicken is undercooked, as mentioned, but that is fine. It is going to be cooked through in the end. In fact, this is a good thing, because you'd much rather have moist chicken at the end than have really dry chicken from having cooked it twice completely. So I am fine with that. I'll just continue cutting the rest of my chicken. That one is extremely undercooked, but I actually prefer this to the other one, because you can imagine this will literally cook through in like 2-3 minutes when it goes back into the sauce. So I am certainly not worried, and I'm actually happy with that. So I'll put that aside. So whenever I make chicken breast, I always like make extra for chicken mayo sandwiches. Literally one of my favorite things to make, and I make a bomb ass one. So keeping that little breast on there for a chicken mayo later. Okay, my onion actually nearly burnt there, but I think it's ready for the next couple of steps. So it seemed as though I was using quite a lot of oil earlier, but you see, it's actually not that, it's not bad. So now I put my garlic. So I always put garlic last, and whenever I'm sauteing vegetables, because garlic tends to burn. So you want to have it like last and just wait for it to be a little fragrant, and then you're ready. There's really no need to be cooking it for a long time, especially when it's chopped. So I just allow it to cook slightly, but really we are ready for the next step now. So this is my tomato. Like I said, it's a medium-sized one that I've chopped. I know other people prefer grating them as well, so you can grate your tomato and just have it go through. But I find however you do it, really, tomatoes, especially if it's properly ripe, will always disintegrate into whatever you're cooking. So yeah, there's no need to go overboard trying to make it smooth. So here is my spice or paste in this regard. So this is the Rogan Josh, and I am just going to show you what ingredients are in there. There is some coriander, some cardamom, some chili powder, cinnamon, cumin, nutmeg, turmeric, curry leaves. So you can see it is all encompassing. It is the ultimate cheat, because I would have had to put all of these ingredients in here, but now I just put one ingredient that covers all the bases, really. So this is really nice for a person who, first of all, does not have like a cupboard full of spices. But I must admit, I realized that I actually have all of those items that I mentioned there in the house. So actually, I should have just done a little spice mix. But I mean, it doesn't hurt to use this. And another thing that I've realized very recently is that as much as you have all of the individual ingredients or the spices, sometimes it's not everyone knows how to get the balance right between the spices in order for it to come this way. So that's why you use cheats like this, because you don't have to think about, oh, do I put a teaspoon, do I put a half a teaspoon or whatever. It's all there and it's already balanced for you. So this was really lovely. And you will find that with spice mixes or pastes in general, what determines what the flavor is that balance. If you put more cardamom or more coriander, that changes the whole balance of the spice altogether. So yeah, it is important for you to know what your strengths are and weaknesses are. So use the cheats if you can, or if you know that you will run into trouble trying to make your own. So this actually cooked down. I waited for it to cook down for a couple of minutes. I would say between 5 and 10 minutes, because as you saw, I did use a bit of water to clean out the little packet that had my sauce, because I never want to waste anything. So I wanted to cook that down until the extra liquid was gone, and as you can see, it has now evaporated. How amazing does this look? It smells incredible in the house. here's an ingredient that I showed earlier but I didn't actually mention: the coconut milk. So for this recipe, I do prefer using the coconut milk because this is an Indian themed dish, or actually Indian dish, and so it's better to use that and stick with the theme. But you can use cream. You can get away with using cream, but there's a slight sweetness that comes from coconut milk and that you can't replicate with anything else. So I mean, if you can, just get yourself a can of coconut milk if you're making this, as opposed to using cream, and you will thank me for this. I promise you, it really does work wonders for this dish. It makes it just perfect. So as you can see, our sauce is basically ready. I mean, those are such few ingredients. It is actually impressive how much flavor is coming off of this pan just from those few ingredients. Completely happy with that. But this is actually the perfect time to actually season our dish. So I am gonna get my salt and just season that until I am happy with the way it tastes. I want my curry to be quite hot, so I am going to add a bit of the chili flakes. And then season. So I'm gonna go in quite a bit of salt here. Ooh, haha, that packs some heat. I don't remember, did my package insert say there was already chilies in there? I don't remember. But anyway, it's exactly the kind of heat I like, but I just need more salt. Yum nandi. Oh gosh, I can't think of anything this thing needs. I'm happy with that. Now we introduce the chicken and the prawns. Tiny weeny prawns go in there. So my coriander goes in. I'm just gonna tear it slightly so that the leaves are not too big in there. So after further investigation, the Rogan Josh definitely comes with chilies. I think it's getting hotter as I'm cooking it. So if you are very sensitive to heat, do not add the extra chili flakes like I did. It's a medium hot paste, and so if you have that, you should be fine with that on its own. I'm actually removing this from the heat because my chicken is now cooked through. No worries there. Ready to serve. That's it for today, guys. I served my chicken and prawn curry with some basmati rice that has some peas in it, just for the pop of color and obviously the nutritional value. Was quite impressed by this curry. it does have a slightly different flavor profile to the curries that we eat and make every day. So for me, that was extremely exciting. It looked amazing and it tasted great. Please follow me on Instagram at Kholiwe_cooks. I share a lot of food and wine content on there, basically an extension of this channel. However, there are other recipes that I do not share on my channel that I do share on Instagram. And so to stay up to date with what I do follow me on Instagram and tag me on the recipes you get to try. Subscribe to my channel, click here, and for more videos also click here. Until next time, goodbye.